voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117, and you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
Finish him.
Wow. Yo, what is going on, everybody? That is right. It is Thursday night prime time. And you know what that means. The people in the chat, they know what that means. The panel knows what that means. Next podcast is definitely live. Guys, I'm really excited for tonight's show. So many pieces of news. So many topics out there, man. It was really hard to kind of narrow it down. And I even had to add a topic, and I know my brother Predator loves when I do that, but I even had to add a topic after I put the list of topics in, just because I saw what was going on social media, and we need to talk about it. Again, what is going on, chat? Great to see you guys. Yo, if you haven't done it yet, which I haven't, I'm doing it right now. Yo, hit that thumbs up button. Not only that, share the show out wherever you go to talk games, and social media, wherever. If it's Twitter, if it's Facebook, if it's MySpace, if it's Predator's OnlyFans, wherever you go to talk games.
Put that thumb in there. Put that thumb in there, guys.
Wow. Wow.
Definitely become a member of Pred's OnlyFans.
All right. Guys, as you can see, I would say we're in rare form, but lately this has just been the form. This has just been the form that we're in, and I think we're going for a streak here. But yeah, definitely share this out, guys. Let people know that this is where they need to be on Thursday night, prime time. And guys, before we get into the meat, into the juice, into the topics, we got to get the intros out of the way. So first, let me introduce the man that sets up the background for Phil Spencer whenever he does an interview. That's right, he puts every little piece on the shelf, and he might know exactly what they mean. Dark Optimus, what is up, brother? He's like, me? Me?
I honestly thought you were going to go with somebody else. I was just like, I was not ready for that at all. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here, dude.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me your new name.
Is it dark? I can't remember.
Chocolate
Dark chocolate Optimus. That's what Pred gave me.
No.
Oh, no, why?
How many nicknames do I have, man? I have Dark Otter, I got Dark Bottomus, I got Dark Optimus, I got so many nicknames. The Angry Otter, the
Dark Ottoman.
Dark Ottoman, fucking Dark Chocolate now, and shit like that. Chocolate Optimus.
Yo, Optimus, I want to let you know, even though you are now Dark Chocolate Optimus, you can still participate in white-on-white crime. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can
dude,
do that.
I'm laying that down right now. That is a stipulation. You can still take part on the W on W.
It's going to happen tonight.
It's going to happen tonight.
He feels it. He's like, I feel it.
My soul.
Well, nice. But, yo, as always, it is good to have you on every week on this panel. But I gotta get through the intros here. So let me go to the man who likes to steal everything off of Phil Spencer's shelves after he does the interview. Crispy Bomb, what is going on, bro?
Well, all right. Yeah, I'll take all that stuff. Collectibles are cool, Come on. Yeah, what's up, everybody? And great to be here. Got some good laughs. I'm sure sounds like K-Mega is ready with that soundboard. He's going to be going in tonight, so it should be fun, people. Let's do this.
You sound like you half like it and half hate it. Like you're like, oh, he's going in tonight, man. Oh, there we go.
I don't know which.
Oh, that was my phone, by the way. But all right, man. Let's go next on the list. The man who builds the shelving that all those little pieces of gaming memorabilia and hints as to what Xbox is doing in Phil Spencer's interview. That is right. He builds all the shelving behind that. It is K Mega. What is going on, bro?
Ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
What's happening, everybody? K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, baby. It is going to be one hell of a day. I don't even know why I'm so excited or happy. I'm just happy right now. I guess maybe because I'm going to go back and play a game that I haven't played in some years. And yeah, and I normally don't go back to games once I beat them. But yeah, man, Mass Effect's about to get this work. I think it's about to go all back.
I am right there with you, man.
Dude, those screenshots look insane, man.
So yeah, I can't wait for that. But other than that, yeah, man, glad to be here. I'm going to be a little heavy on the soundboard at the beginning. But once we get into it, I will not. And then at the end, I'm going to act a damn fool with it. So just be prepared for it. So anyway, glad to be here as usual. And let's get this party rolling.
All right. Remember, when it comes to the soundboard, there's only a couple things that we do not play on this show. Right? Right, brother? Right? Right?
Oh,
where were we?
I was about to ask you for your favorite...
No, dude.
Okay.
Dude, my heart just jumped in my throat. I'm like, no.
One day, everybody's want to know what it is that we play behind the scenes.
Yes. If you want to know the stuff that we play behind the scenes off of the soundboard, oh man.
You don't want to know, guys. You really
Oh
don't.
man, it's great. It's great.
Man.
I think they do want to know, dude. I mean, I would want to know.
I would want to know.
Shut up, Dark Chocolate.
I would. Oh no.
That's Sir Dark Chocolate to you.
Oh, to get to another name.
Well,
sexual dark chocolate.
Speaking of dark chocolate, let's go to the man that overcharges Microsoft, Xbox, and Phil Spencer for all the work that K Mega does building those shelving units. Of course, it is Predator. What is up, brother?
I gotta make that extra income off my OnlyFans too. So yeah,
Dude, he's rolling it right now.
What's up, everybody? We got some topics. That's what K Mega sounds like when he's busting one.
Guys, you do know this is a gaming podcast, right?
Oh man. Anyway,
I play with myself too. I mean, no, that's
Wow.
gaming. Playing with my thumbstick.
Man.
No, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm here, guys. What's up?
Yeah. And guys, on that note, we got to get into the topics. And guys, I got a treat for you. We got something juicy right off the bat for the people who jump in early. We have a juicy topic, and it is about a certain director at IGN, a guy by the name of Justin Davis. If you follow IGN, you might know this guy. But he went out on a few tweets. I think it was yesterday, that it kind of riled up the gaming community, man. And I just had to talk about it tonight on the show. So it's Justin Davis. Remember, a director at IGN. And I cannot believe this. I had to check to make sure this was real, because could it be that somebody in big gaming media might prefer the Xbox Series X or S for this generation? Check this out. Justin Davis tweeted out yesterday. He said, since the launch of next gen, I've done a complete 180. And at this point, I wouldn't really recommend a PS5 to people. Not until it has more games. Whoa.
Holy shit.
Then he said, get an Xbox Series X and sign up for Game Pass. But I am not done. He said, I play an Xbox game literally every night, and I haven't turned on my PlayStation 5 in 2 months. Returnal looks great, but it's $70. Game Pass is just too good to ignore. PS5's library will get there someday, but it will be expensive. You know what? Let's go to the soundboard maniac, yo. K-Mega, what do you think? Dude, I cannot believe this. Finally, somebody is out there reporting the value of Xbox in such a way. It's pissing off some fanboys out there. I believe they're out there checking receipts, checking his trophy score, all that good stuff, gamer score on Xbox. Dude, what do you take of this? And do you think the day has finally come, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, every time that I go and I see a new game in Game Pass or that another game is dropping that has the potential to come on Game Pass, my hard drive is like,
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
So I don't know.
Wow. Dude, you're getting too good with that, man. You really are.
Okay, anyway, so regardless, but it's really, no, I mean, it's just one of those things right now. You just see the value in what Xbox is doing. It was this whole attitude that this Netflix of gaming is going to be the thing that's going to drive, it's going to change gaming and it's going to ruin gaming. But I think we'll get to another topic here a little bit later. That might be the aspect that might ruin gaming or change gaming as we know it. Because let's just be honest, seeing certain games at $70 is not attractive. I mean, let's just be honest here. Like, there's deals, of course, but if there's certain games that you know that you want to buy, let's just say, for instance, okay, so there's Biomutant that's right here, that's going to be here, about another 2 weeks. Then you're going to have the Mass Effect trilogy that's going to be out tonight. And then beforehand, there was, let's say that there was a game that you was interested in, like I forget the actual whole name of the game, but it was Hood something. It's kind of reminiscent of
Outlaws. Hood Outlaw.
Yeah, Hood Outlaws or something like that. But let's just say, okay, out of those two, you got a budget and you got bills to pay. You got other things that arrangements that you need to be taken care of, responsibilities. And so you're looking at all three of those games or just two of those games, right? Well, with the fact that you might have one of those games potentially, and this is just theoretically, that would come on Game Pass, that saves you $70. Even though, you're paying into the service, but mentally, but overall, it's like, man, okay, so I could go ahead and I could play this game, I could do this, I could do that. The console itself is starting to now outperform the PlayStation 5, and on top of that, the offerings that the PlayStation 5 is given. Even though Returnal has gotten a lot of love, it still isn't what people are accustomed to from what Sony brings, especially towards the last part of the generation. So it's just one of those times, and then it's also hard to get a PlayStation 5. So there's so many factors that goes into it. And so what Xbox is presenting and it is doing, it's starting to get the attention to even writers, or maybe Microsoft is giving them that bag. Maybe finally they listened and they did what Sony's doing and start giving them that bag. I don't know, but regardless of it,
back alley dealing.
Yeah. No, just a little bit, a little coin. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, but no. In all that retrospect, I mean, if you just think about it, if there weren't so many gamers that was objective about everything and just looked at it, if they just walked into a situation with a different product. Or products that wasn't related to gaming, and they seen the same type of value that was placed from those products, and there was something that was more valuable, you're going to go to that. Not everybody is going to go for the most expensive, most high tech thing. Some people will actually will budget shop. So again, this is the thing for me, is that, like, you got so many other options, not only with the powerhouse, which is the Series X, but you also have the cheaper version, which is also cheaper than what Sony is offering, about $100.
Series S is a little beast, man. It
right,
really is,
yeah.
Dude.
And so you have that, and then you, like I said, you got Game Pass. That is a game changer. And don't let anybody tell you that old games are irrelevant or anything of that nature, because I keep seeing these people keep talking about, how Xbox finessed people into liking older games. If you haven't played some of these games, they're new to you. How is it that a game or it's just like an album or a record, or even if there's games that you went back and played and then they got enhancements, and then you go back and play them. It's just like an album or a video, a movie, or anything like that. You're going to go back and you're going to check it again if you like that, or if you didn't get a chance to finish it. So it's I don't know. It's a win-win.
Well, it's funny because you know why? Most of these people are going to buy Mass Effect tonight.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, you say you don't like old games, okay, all right, whatever, man.
Right, and that's the biggest the drawback. And I guarantee you, the new thing will be is that there's people that I never played the series, but I guarantee you that if you go and check their back files, they were saying something about it in a positive or negative light many moons ago. So again, it's just it's one of those things to me is like because we've seen it too. When they did the enhancements to Horizon and to God of War, we started seeing clips of people showing God of War. Oh, look how beautiful this is. Oh man, it's running at 60 and 4K and all that. I dig that. I think that's wonderful. I think it's a whole nother amazing factor into gaming that we've been wanting. Yeah, preserving the library. It is the closest to what we got to PC yet, and that's something that I always praised about PC is that I can go back and I can play older games and they perform and they are 10 times better than what they were on console. Well, now we're starting to see this happen, and you know, I know this won't be a topic, but I will say this to see what the rest of the panel thinks. Now, again, the $70 aspect of it is like I said, it's making people, you know, look at that and check that. So now we look at a game like Ratchet & Clank. The game looks absolutely phenomenal. But then we just come in and find out that it's only going to be 1080p, 60 frames per second, or it's going to be 4K 30 with ray tracing. And there will be no 1440p. I didn't even know the PlayStation 5 don't even do 1440p. So to me, it's one of those things is like, again, is this something if this was something, let's just say that Halo comes out and you got only those two options. Do you not know what the media and what the gaming public would act like if that was the only two options that was available? And then let's just say that Halo Infinite would be $70 too. So I just think that overall, what Xbox is doing is the smart thing. Is just like what PlayStation did at the beginning of last gen, and this is just valuable for gamers. I don't even see why anybody would see anything negative about it.
Well, brother, when it came down to it, I was looking in the thread to see the comments, and people are like, "Well, don't you know that PlayStation has a similar service to Game Pass and it has way more games, but I guess you're just you just got tunnel vision and stuff like that." They're not even realizing that, you know, with Game Pass you're getting these games, but you're also getting these enhancements to a lot of these games. You know, I applaud Xbox for what they're doing with the auto HDR, all right, with how they found a way to double frame rates without messing with the game code itself. So you don't have to get into discussions with the publisher or the developers. It's the system that's just doubling the frames for you and making a game that's 30 now 60 and a game that's 60 up to 120. I think that was absolute genius, bro.
And that's only on Xbox. You know, so that to me is just another fact. Like if the more and more we start seeing this, we're going to start seeing that separation. And that to me is with the value point of what you get with the little beast, as everybody calls it now, with the S, and just the value which you get with Game Pass, man, it's a no-brainer right now, especially in 2021.
No doubt, man. It was entertaining to say the least to check out that Twitter thread, which is why I was like, man, we got to bring this to the show. So let's get Crispy involved in this. Another highly energetic panel member. Crispy, we got the director of IGN finally seeing the light and the value, which is Xbox Series X included with Game Pass, to the point where he says, dude, I can't even tell people to buy a PS5 right now, even though, you know, they have the Demon Souls and they have the Miles Morales, and you know, they brought a couple games into the fold, but he's like, dude, you got to wait for their games library to get bigger. And he said, basically, I'm not quoting word for word, but Game Pass is an absolute juggernaut, man. What do you think about this, bro?
Somebody actually sounded like us, to be honest. Like, how long we been beating this drum? How long? How long do we have to tell people? How long do we have to tell people that, there's so many different types of games that, like, if you have a family, if you have a significant other, there's a reason to have Game Pass. Like right now, it's really hard to get both consoles. So if you don't have the console, I don't blame you. You can't do that, but you could do it on the phone if you really wanted to. So, I mean, there's so many options right now with what Xbox is doing. Even like, Bot's got the Series S. I just got the Series X. And he's just speaking the truth about the thing. The thing is, if you play on the Series X, that thing's a beast. Like remember when he said eat monsters for breakfast? Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like I've never been able to game like this ever. And that's what you want from a next gen console. I'm sorry. I can just, it's just crazy how smooth these games are running now. And like you said, Bot, like what they did on the back end to not even mess with the code. Like I do know that I believe Phil said at one point that they do ask the developer if they are okay with it, which like he's literally had nobody said no, but they do, say, hey, we're going to do this. Is that cool with you? You know what I mean? Because some people may not. They might be like, that's not the way the game's supposed to be. But, it's like somebody going and saying you wouldn't want, all this extra stuff to a God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn. You wouldn't want all that. Like, and it's not a remaster. You just get it. That's what you have to go and say. Like half the time, PlayStation will do stuff like this, but they'll charge you more money. Think about that. When we're just getting it all in Game Pass anyway. Any first party has gotten boosted, or there's got to be a reason why they haven't done it yet. But the power of the system itself already ups the ante with it. Like I could tell HDR in playing some of these old games, which I never saw before. I could see some more reflection and stuff like that. And these are games that I played years ago, but you always can see the difference between the muddiness and now it looks almost like shiny new coat of paint on it. And it's not Series X and S enabled or anything like that. So it's just kind of just boosted up. And I'm like, man, I can't believe they pulled this off. So, having the console for 3 months now, I have to say, like, I am super happy with the purchase. There's no reason not to go out and get even the S, for $300. If you can get your hands on one, grab it. And if you're a skeptic, give it a shot. And you could probably sell it for extra money. Because to be honest, if you really wanted to, or you could sell it to your buddy that wants it. Like that's the way I say, you got to try it. You really have to.
Yeah. For anybody who is skeptical, if you have a chance when it comes to the Series S, because, $300, it's like, well, what kind of performance can you get for $300? If you ever get a chance, play Watch Dogs Legion on the Series S. The Series S, $300 system with ray tracing on an open world game. Yo, that thing is absolutely bananas. Bananas, people. Like, I could not believe it when I started playing Watch Dogs Legion on the Series S. And shout out to my brother for hooking me up with the Series S, man. Definitely appreciate that. And guys, I don't know if you can notice it in the background, but thank you guys so much for the super chats last week. And as you can hear, there's no chirping. There's no chirping. The fire
Rest
alarm.
in peace, fire alarm.
The fire
Rest in
alarm
peace.
went back to sleep, people. At 8 and 9 volt and went back to sleep. So shout out to everybody.
The real question is did you use all of that money to pay for batteries?
It's a solid gold 9 volt battery. No, I'm just playing. No, but
no fucking battery, man. He just took that motherfucker down, man. That's like
no. It's up
Right,
there.
yeah,
It's up there with the Duracell. All right,
tripping in the
it's
pregame.
up there with the copper top, baby. We got the Duracell. But yo, shout out to everybody that supports this channel. With all the donations, super chats, stuff like that. I really, really do appreciate it because when it comes down to it, I only do podcasts on here. If you notice, I haven't done a video in quite a while, working these 12-hour shifts and stuff like that. And so, when it comes to YouTube revenue, all I have is the podcast. So, shout out to everybody that checks out these shows, that invests in this in this channel and this show, and of course Series X. Thank you guys so much. But let's go to Dark Chocolate. Yo, Dark Chocolate, man. IGN, we got a director praising the Xbox Series X, of course, with Game Pass, which to me is a no-brainer. If you're going to get an Xbox, you might as well, invest in Game Pass, especially when they start rolling out the first party. But what do you think about this and the reaction, man? There's so many people that are upset with this guy, so pissed off at him. You can tell in the comments, man. What do you think, bro?
I think he should keep his mouth shut. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I think I saw you might have tweeted him back something like that. I think you should keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
No, man. Honestly, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people are seeing value out of Xbox and its Game Pass, and you can't blame them there. Me personally, I have Game Pass. I rarely ever use it, to be honest. Like once in a while. Like I'm really waiting for like the first party stuff, to come out. That's what I'm really waiting for.
You seem like that type of guy.
Yeah, because I love, me, dude. I love Halo and Gears as well. Like I know I give crispy crap about Gears, but I love Gears too as well. It's like
didn't
both of
we
those
call it
games
a AA indie before we went live to Christmas?
Blasphemy.
Betrayal.
It's actually less than a AA. It's more
crowdfunded.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's like Returnal? Is that what it? No.
Betrayal.
Oh dang! Yeah, I mean, if it could be. No, man. I mean, honestly, like the guy, he's got a great point. Like I mean, if you can't recommend something to somebody, then why even be hyped for it? Me personally, I'm loving my PlayStation 5. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, is it something that is gonna deter me from playing on Xbox? No, it's not. I love having both consoles. I don't really like my Switch. I rarely ever use it. Like that's the one console I think I kind of regret buying. I could just get rid of it, but I don't know. I'm still waiting for something to come out for it that I'm like, oh my god, this was awesome. Like Astral Chain. Like Astral Chain was an amazing game. That was an awesome game to have on the Switch. So, but other than that, it's like, is there anything else? No, not really. Not for me at least. So I see where he's coming from. Where it's like. Is there something on PlayStation that I want to play? To him, he's all like thinking to himself, no. He probably doesn't like Returnal. He probably doesn't like.
He said
the Souls.
Returnal looks good, but like I guess. He's
well,
thinking about
also
the $70 price tag though. And
that's
comparable.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also that the game is extremely hard. It's not like a Dark Souls or a Souls game or anything like that. It's a lot harder than that. It's definitely. I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't think I'm ever gonna beat it. I mean, I've been trying, but I just don't have the time to even dive in there. And because I mean a run takes you like 1 maybe 2 hours maybe depending, and then if I die, then I have to go start back at the beginning. So then I have to do that same thing for another 2 hours. It's just like it's too much. I just don't have time to do it during the week.
Yo, Dark, hold up real quick. First off, I want to give a shout out to my brother Hustle and Motivate in the chat. What is up, bro? Great to see you in the chat. This is something I find interesting, and Dark, I want you to respond to this, man. Hustle and Motivate said Justin Davis was dead wrong for that tweet, but he did put LOL. He said he is in a position of influence and purposely tried to sway people to cop an Xbox. Now, before you chime in, Dark, I do want to say something. Dude, do you remember Last Generation and how gaming news, like there was a picture, one of the journalists was holding
Dustin.
What happened?
Dustin McGarry, I think his name was.
Yeah, talking about
Dustin.
resolution.
Yeah, that's
like, and I mean, that was going towards the PS4. I mean, he was basically swaying people to cop a PS4 over an Xbox One at that time. So, I mean, it's now the shoe's on the other foot, I guess you could say. But Dark, what do you think about that comment, man? Do you think it's dead wrong for him to do that?
No, I think it's just his opinion, and I mean, we're not in his circle. He's not somebody who he talks to on a daily basis. Like he just put a tweet out there, and let him have his opinion about it. I mean, it's his opinion. He feels like he hasn't gotten his money's worth for the PS5, which is, understandable. I mean, if there's certain games you just don't like, I mean, not everybody's gonna like the same thing you like, you know. Um,
That's not
and
true.
and
Everybody
people got
loves what I love, man. What are you talking about?
and people got to realize that, like, it's not. It's I mean, yeah, it's all fun and games, and people. There are a lot of people who just joke around and do the trolls and things like that. But then there's times where it's like it does get annoying, and it's just like you're tired of hearing it because it's just like it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And the guy, I think he was just speaking his mind, and he felt like he's having a better experience with the Xbox than he is with the PlayStation. I mean, kudos to him.
Nice, nice. Now let's get to. He's been surprisingly quiet. Let's get to Predator on this. Dude, I don't know if you saw this thread, but if you did, man, it is definitely entertaining. The amount of emotion below the original tweet, it's almost legendary.
Oh man, yeah, it is. I've been scrolling through it while you were talking. Just
Dude.
shaking my head because it's funny because like when, and not just him because he's like I forgot was it Hustle and Motivate. He's like he's the influencer, blah blah blah. Like when other people in the Xbox community flip flopped over to PlayStation, I don't remember these outcries happening from the any side. Like like when some of the people from our YouTube channels did it. Like I don't remember all this outcry and all this hate, coming towards them for doing it from the Xbox side, So like, so a guy decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna flop over to the Xbox side, and I see all these tweets coming in after that. I'm just like shaking my head, like everybody's giving the guy shit for it. It's like, well, that's his choice. And to Hustle and Motivate's comment, like he is an influence. You're right. He is in the media, but like the media also did the same shit last gen too. A matter of fact, I mean, look at here's a perfect example. Jeff Keighley. I mean, what has he been doing the entire last generation with Kojima and his Game Awards show that everybody watches? He blatantly has like just down Xbox. I mean, like it's obvious he has a bias towards PlayStation, but like, but a guy openly says, "Hey, I think this is a better value right now." It's a problem all of a sudden, and it isn't just. I'm not trying to dog Hustle and Motivate because I mean I'm looking at the tweets from everybody that responded to this guy, and they're like, it's just bashing the guy for making that decision. So I think that's his opinion. I mean, he's allowed to have his opinion. I mean,
How
like
dare he say that,
God,
man?
God forbid that you have your own opinion on something. But I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, nothing he said was wrong. I mean, like to be honest with you, Dark said it too. Like, um, if he's unhappy with his, this generation, the output of this generation, that actually goes for both consoles. It's like I don't think either console has done its due diligence to keep us happy with this generation. I think the only thing that's been different is that Xbox has been actually trying to upgrade older shit and make it worthwhile to have your console and say, hey, this is what we can do going forward. Whereas, you're getting next gen games that are not even utilizing the power of the PlayStation 5. Like you're getting 1080, 60.
Well,
We were
maybe it
getting
is utilizing the power though.
that's the best you can do, right? No, I mean, I really think the console is more powerful than that, but I don't know. Like it just the offerings for this gen, just game wise, have not been super spectacular, and that goes for both systems. I mean, if you really think about it, like all these games could be played on last gen consoles. Godfall could have been this game. Ratchet and Clank easily could have been. You can't sit there and be like, "Oh, it's the SSD." No, like, they pulled that shit with Returnal too. Like Returnal could probably be played on a PlayStation 4. So I mean, like this generation, I don't say it was rushed, but like it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily necessary right now, especially when people can't even get their hands on a console. So if the guy's like, "Look, right now, this exact moment before Ratchet and Clank comes out, He's saying like, look, I'm looking at both of these systems. I'm playing my Xbox more because I'm enjoying what's on there. A lot of that probably has to do with he hasn't used his Xbox, So like he's playing games he's never touched before, and he's seen it in upgraded to 120p, 60 frames per 120p at 4K or whatever. He's like, oh wow, this is great. This looks awesome. Why didn't I do this before? And you're gonna see a lot of people who've done that before. Like they didn't touch it. And when you actually get the Xbox and you hook it up and you play games you never played before, you're gonna be wowed by it. But if you're just one of these fanboys that just thinks like, oh, just because it's got the Microsoft name to it, you don't want to touch it.
It's trash.
It's just trash because it's a Microsoft product. That's wrong. That's the fucked up way of thinking about things. So like he decided to pop it in, and I was looking at like the stuff that they put out there about his gamer score and stuff like that. He's been an Xbox member for 12 years. At least according to that screenshot that I saw. I mean, and his gamer score isn't lower than a lot of other people's. Like mine's like on my current name, it's only like around 60,000, and he's like right at 40. And he doesn't even play as much as I do. So, I mean, like it's not like he's trash. He just doesn't play it as much. It's fine. Like now he's actually getting into games again. He's seen it. He missed out on a lot of stuff. I mean, there's PlayStation games I've never played before, and I finally got into them. I was like, oh, this is great. So give the guy his opinion. Don't get mad at him because he has his own opinion. He didn't say he's never playing PlayStation again. He said, I'm going to wait for more big games to come out. Right now, I think the Xbox is a better value, and that may change later. He may change his mind in a year, So let him play on everything. That's the best way to play games anyway. Don't just be a fanboy for one console.
Nice.
And that's the thing about people got to realize is that these people have lives, they have jobs, they have other things that they have to take care of. So yeah, maybe sometimes they don't finish a game. There's plenty of times I don't finish a game, and it's not because it's a terrible game. It's just because I don't feel like finishing it, or I don't have the time to finish it. I just move on to the next one or whatever.
Lately with me, when it comes to like single player games, and K Mega's gonna call this blasphemy, but when it comes to single player games, I get into them, and I want to beat the story and stuff. But then I'm also involved in games that have content that releases,
right,
and kind of like time gated stuff and stuff like that. So I get pulled away from those, and I'm not too upset about it, because when it comes to a single player game, when I go back to it, it's still going to be there, complete, right where I left off and stuff like that. So there are still single player games that I haven't beaten yet, but the main reason why is Destiny, that you're seeing the gameplay right now for.
That, or you have work, or or other
work's
multiplayer games that you want to play with your friends, and that's the normal thing. Like not everybody's gonna want to go in and play a single player game and just beat it.
Well, you can tell that by the most played games on PlayStation right now. They're not like heavy on first party, like first party, the single player, like the Demon Souls and Miles Morales. They're not up on that list, man. It's
a lot of
Duty and
it's Fortnite, things like that. Yeah,
it would help if these games released and they're actually not broken too. I mean
that too. Yeah, man. I mean,
game. I was hyped for Cyberpunk. I got it on PC and I got it on Xbox. Guess who's not played it since like the first week of launch? This guy.
You?
Like I haven't wanted to because it's been so fucking broken. So like even with Outriders, like I was able to rush through it without any issues that some of the other people had. But like a lot of people put that game down for a while because it was broken. Like Returnal.
So is Returnal.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to finish that game because it's broken. Like give us a.
I was on a good run the other day and it freaking crashed on me again, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Real quick, let me hit up these super chats real quick. Caper Grant, shout out to you, Caper Grant 692. If you are still here, but before you took off, you hit up the super chat to show love and support. Definitely appreciate that. He said, "Great show. Have a great night, guys." That's why I think he might not be here. But Caper, if you come back and check this out afterwards, I did shout you out, man. I saw it. And I shouted you out. Shout out to my brother RG Viper X hitting up that super chat. He says, respect to all the loyal Xbox fans that stuck through thick and thin. You guys are what keep the Xbox brand going. Shout out to you, brother. Oh, I will say one of the things I always talked about with me preferring the Xbox console is the community. It's the camaraderie. It's the ability to get in and party up. I feel like it's a very welcoming community. So you are absolutely right there, Viper. And thank you for that super chat. What up, Dark?
And it's also because Bot will go down with the Halo ship. So
I will go down with that ship.
And I'm right there with you too, man. I'll go down with that Halo ship. I don't. I love Halo, man. So
well, dude, it's gonna be the 20th
It's coming.
anniversary. They
I
better
know.
I think they're gearing.
I
up
hope
for
I can get a
something
Series X
phenomenal.
by then, dude. I'm hoping I can get a Series X by then. I might have to get a Series S. I don't know, because I want to see that in like it's somewhat better
Dark's
quality.
gonna rob
you
an
know?
old lady over on the West Coast or
I
something.
might have to, dude. I might have to.
Oh shoot! Better watch out, everybody on the West Coast. Lock your doors. You don't know. Dark might be
Hide
coming.
your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, I wasn't going there, but you did. Yo, shout out to Safe Space Invader hitting up that super chat. Thank you, brother, for the support. Absolutely love that. Battletoads with ray tracing. Boom! Jordan Fist. Oh, ray tracing in Battletoads. I'm trying to think. Cause that art style is definitely unique. Like that Saturday morning cartoon.
I was gonna say, would you even see it in that kind of
Um,
art style?
They might have to enable more kind of like
Reflections, right?
I could definitely see it in what's the Streets of Rage. I can definitely see it in Streets of Rage. You know, ray tracing in Streets of Rage would be ridiculous. I don't know how they would implement it in Battletoads. Like there's many different ways you can use ray tracing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the reflections and stuff like that. So, yeah, Valorian said they'd have to change the art style. I'm willing to give it a try and see what it looked like. You know what I'm saying?
He did say he was joking. So
No. There's no jokes when it comes to Battletoads.
Wow, we haven't heard that in a while.
Just to let you know that, Invader. I'm just saying.
You don't need to hear it anymore either.
Oh wow. Don't be a hater.
Every time he does that, I always hear Battle Turd, so it's fine.
All right. Well, guys, check this out. We're gonna go from one banging topic to another hot topic, and I feel this might be a foretelling of what's coming. You know, people talked about Xbox deciding to do Game Pass with subscription services and stuff like that, and you know, people constantly compare it to game sales. Now, what if I told you that one of the biggest publishers out there is going free to play? That's right, people. Yo, Ubisoft is shifting away from its traditional strategy of releasing 3 or 4 premium AAA titles each year, but plans to launch high-end free-to-play games for all of its biggest franchises. That's right, for all of its biggest franchises. Now, I'm looking at this like a double-edged sword right here. Now, for people who like Assassin's Creed, can you imagine every time they come out with another Assassin's Creed, you're not going to have to put down that initial $60, $70 to play the game. You'll be able to play it as a free-to-play. There's got to be a catch there. Yo, Predator, what do you think about this, man? You like to dabble into the business side. Is this showing a shift in kind of like what is profitable in console gaming, and is it showing a shift in the entire industry when you see a big publisher such as Ubisoft going free to play with their existing franchises, bro?
We kind of talked about this behind the scenes a little bit, but
a little bit.
Somebody's got to step out on that ledge, I guess, to do it just full throttle. You know, like not these little onesie twosie games. Every company seems to have like one or two free to play games that are profitable, and it's worked. Like look at the stuff that's out now. They're making money. But a lot of these games come out like half built. And it's kind of like an excuse to help build the game as it goes forward. And I'm not talking about like the ones that Xbox puts out sometimes where they have it like in the preview program. Like some of these free to play games, they're just constantly building on them. And they're making them better and better and better as they go along. And so, like they're doing that anyway. If you think about it, look at the Division. Look at For Honor. Look at the games that have come out with in the past. They're still constantly updating them. Rainbow Six, perfect example. So they're doing that anyway. So now, like you're gonna have those games. I think they'll keep those games the way they are. They'll keep them, make them free to play. They've already got that business model set up for those games, ready to go. But it's going to be interesting how they do like Assassin's Creed and I don't think they're going to do all games because they did kind of say like we're gonna, I don't know exact wording that they had, but like they're gonna get away from making AAA franchises and more focus on the free to play model.
Well, they say high quality free to play. Like, when it comes to AAA, I think, different people in the community think of it differently. You know what I'm saying? I feel that they're still going to put as much time, effort, and money into these games because me personally, I feel like when it comes to the microtransactions, and Pred, correct me if I'm wrong on this because you know a lot more about this. You look into it a lot more than I do. But it seems like that initial purchase, that $60 purchase, it seems like the microtransactions are more lucrative in the long run than like really trying to get everybody to buy the game brand new $60, $70, man.
Yeah, because like you see like the prices of the games drop like literally weeks after they come out. So but if they get you into the game, at some point you're gonna buy something extra with the game. That's what they're hoping off of. Whether it's a skin, whether it's a new map pack, whether it's something like they're banking on that. So like, I just look at their games that they have like currently under their development, and like Rainbow Six is a good, perfect example of a free to play game they could make free to play that I think would be successful. Ghost Recon, maybe. I don't know if anybody remembers Ghost Recon Online. That was, it was only on PC, but it was basically just the multiplayer portion of Ghost Recon. That was a couple of years ago, so they've actually done it before. I'm trying to think. Like your single player games like a Prince of Persia, I don't think that's going to happen again. Splinter Cell, that may be dead now. I don't know because they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it when they were talking about making it in the past. That was one of the reasons why they couldn't make a Splinter Cell because they couldn't find a way to make it more profitable than just the single player experience. So I don't know. I mean, I did listen to the call that they had, the Ubisoft call, not just the slideshow. I actually listened to the call. And usually I fast forward through all the fluff and they're talking about the business numbers and stuff like that. You can read that in the slides, but at the end they usually have the Q&A, and that's the part that I love listening to because they get into the nitty gritty. They start asking the guys tough questions. All of the questions, and I'm not even shitting you, all the questions they were about the new business model. How is it going to be profitable? How are they going to make money off of it? Like they were like digging into this dude's ass about it, because it was a concern for them because they're like, well, look, man, we've got good games. Why would we go this route? And he was basically saying it's not going to be profitable for a while. Like give it like a year or two, and keep in mind, like look at the games that got coming out in the next, like Skull and Bones got delayed. Is Skull and Bones the name of the game? Yeah.
And that's one that could definitely do free to play.
Yeah, they'll do free to play with that, but that got delayed, right? And then Ghost Recon kind of flopped. They got Resident Evil. They got Rainbow Six that's already out, so that's kind of making money still. They're gonna have to put some more maps into it to make some more money off of that. But Good and Evil, that's not a free to play game. That's like I can't remember playing that game for years, but that's definitely not a free to play model for game.
It's a single player experience.
Yeah.
Well, Pred, are you trying to say like the games that we really, besides Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, but like the Assassin's Creeds, the single player experiences that they're absolutely going away. There's no way that they're going to find a way to make them profitable and have because I would look forward to, if they're going to make those types of games free to play and then bank on microtransactions for cosmetics and other things within the game to make the money.
I think those games, the current games you have now, with the exception of, like I said, Ghost Recon and if they ever come out with a Splinter Cell again, like they're not going to just go completely full balls to the wall free to play with every single game. Like I think like the games I mentioned before, they're not free to play. They're not made that way. So those games will come out. And they'll come out the current state they've been, they've already planned to come out. But like, I think Skull and Bones, the reason it's getting delayed is to add that free to play aspect to it. And as they move forward with these other games, like the next Ghost Recon will probably be just an online only, maybe a couple of missions, but mostly, free to play aspect, like that's what people have actually, not free to play, but like this, the online portion is what they really need to fix. The story sucks for both games. Like just make that shit online multiplayer. That's what people want to do. That 4v4 multiplayer, so they'll do it with that. If they ever come out with a Splinter Cell again, that will be single player. Maybe they'll do that 2v2 Spies Rush Marks thing.
Oh, that was fun, man.
And maybe make it like a 4v4 type deal. They'd have to tweak it, but most of the stuff in their library they currently have, like a Rayman, why the fuck you do that multiplayer free to play? Like how? Like
that is
so you have to ask yourself that question. So like some of the games they have, yes, they're gonna still stay the same state they're in, but some of the other games they're gonna have to, if they're gonna come out with either newer games, or they have to tweak some of the stuff they have, or just not release any more of them. I mean, so I'm not saying the model's not gonna work. I'm just saying, like, I think they're gonna kick themselves in the fucking throat later and be like, "Yeah, we shouldn't have did this." Like,
I don't know. I think
why not do both? Is what I'm trying to say. Why not just do both? Why can't you just do both?
Yeah, and see, I kind of feel like that's what you're saying here. Like the single player games are gonna stay that way, the Assassin's Creed and stuff. I don't see them abandoning franchises that people know within console gaming, within gaming in general. Like they're such well-known franchises, you know what I'm saying? You can even talk to somebody who doesn't know gaming. You say Assassin's Creed and they have an idea of what you're talking about at that point in time. So like when I first read this, like I started getting kind of like thoughts of grandeur, thinking about how they would do an Assassin's Creed free to play but still get the story and stuff. But hearing you, Pred, I'm like, Pred's bringing me down to earth a little bit. I don't know if I like it, so I need somebody. I need somebody to hype me up here. I don't know, K-Mega, what do you think about this move here? Ubisoft claiming that they are going more of the free to play model. Are you in the camp with me? You're thinking like in really far reaching, like Assassin's Creed free to play and stuff like that, or are you more in Predator's camp here?
No, I think that they are. I think they found something, and obviously something is not right. I think it started with what happened with Breakpoint, with Ghost Recon, and that game didn't sell well. Now, of course, it had its bugs and issues at launch. Of course, with Ubisoft, they never give up on their games. I really enjoyed the game. I mean, me and Don beat it. Put some time in, and they also had like really cool stuff. And then of course I just got caught up in playing other games and didn't get a chance to play the Terminator, things like that. But if you got, let's just say, if you made Ghost Recon into a free to play type of game, it would make tons more money. And on top of that, like if you could do those type of expansions that they've been doing, like with the first one they did the Predator, and then you got the Terminator, and then they added other stuff. You add those type of highlights, and then give it a certain time. People are going to eat that up. People are going to spend money. I mean, Fortnite has kind of changed the whole. I mean, I know it goes a little bit before that, but I mean, when you've seen that when certain games like Battlefront 2, they tried to do it in a different way, EA, and it failed miserably. And then, of course, we tried to see Shadow of War. They tried to do it in a certain way that failed miserably. But nobody has yet had the problem of spending extra money, like when you look at it like for a season, like when you see Destiny or when you see or like Fortnite or I'm trying to think of the other Apex Legends, things like that. So if you get, and then of course we already hear the rumors that the Division is going to, and I don't even think that's a rumor anymore, that the Division is going to have a free to play version come out here, which is going to be called the Heartland.
Yep, that's coming.
So that tells you right there that they've seen something within the market, and they know that and this is another thing too that a lot of gamers are. I mean that the industry is also seeing is that even though it's not really it's not really a crazy thing to think that the way that these games are being made and marketing and all the stuff that the games will go up by $10 or whatever to $70, but it's just not popular. People will just avoid these games and wait for a sale. And usually by that time, them games, they usually have to do a sale a couple of weeks if it's not sold really well, or, maybe within, before that 90 days, so they can't recoup that same amount of money. And so it's like, what are our next options? I don't know how that one game that they have, I think is really cool. The Immortal, I think.
Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah. That game is really cool. But I don't know how.
You played it? It's good.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, I got it. Yeah, I played it. Yeah, I played the beginning of it. And I thought, and I was like, damn, and then the credits came on. I was like, oh, damn, it was like two hours and then to the game, and then it was the credits pop. And I'm like, oh, this game is going to be hot. But of course, Cyberpunk was out, and that had to go on the backside.
Life Cyberpunk, so.
Yeah, and I know Life Cyberpunk after that. So, but I really enjoyed the game, and I was just like, whoa, this is really awesome. And so I'm looking at it like, I don't know how it's sold, and I know it's got critically acclaimed and stuff like that, but that just comes to show that shit don't even matter that much anymore. I mean, it matters for certain titles, but for overall, people care about their wallets, and people are still in a position where they're still trying to get their lives together. And when you raise up a price to $70, some people ain't going to they're not going to bite. So I don't know. I would like to find out what happened. I'm not caring about the sales numbers on that end, but I am intrigued about how Returnal's going to do. Just because, people say that, buying games is the only way to go. Obviously it's changing. What we're seeing is that the industry is about to change. And Microsoft again was ahead of the curve, and when people in 2016, 2017 was laughing at it, now people are looking like, oh man, PlayStation needs to go ahead and get this. And now you're looking at what Ubisoft is doing, and some people even going as far as saying that Ubisoft might be ready to fold the tent and ready to sell.
I got a super chat ready to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
One thing
really?
to add to that too that I forgot to say earlier, like doesn't it's kind of like this lineup for Game Pass, Ubisoft going to Game Pass.
Yes, it lines up perfectly. Like, I mean, you're 100% right. Like, that's the thing. And see, I was looking at something else. But yeah, no, I see that what Viper put in there. But yeah, no, it's like this could mean that maybe Ubisoft is ready to do something. And aren't they having some kind of issues going on internally at Ubisoft right now? I think I read something about that. I could be wrong. It might be something else.
Years ago, they had some Vivendi was going to take them over, but they kind of got out of that.
Yeah, they got out of that. But yeah, so yeah, for them to make a drastic move like this, and then for that one game, Skull and Bones, I seen that at E3 in 2018. I seen it. They showed the gameplay of it. It looked great. Like, I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Sea of Thieves is going to be in trouble if they don't add no content, because this game has the look and everything. It's just, what is this game going to provide? And we didn't know if it was really going to be a single player game, or we knew it was a multiplayer game, but I'm talking about in the sense of, is it like a story game, or is it going to be like a long term? Now we know exactly what they're going to do with it. They're going to turn it to a free to play, and this will probably be one of their flagship games. That's a new IP that they're going to make this a free to play and get people involved into it. Because really, if you think about it, if the game is $70 and then you got people that's playing Sea of Thieves already, people on Sea of Thieves aren't going to give Skull and Bones a chance. But if you make it a free to play, they will.
Yeah.
And so you just keep looking at this, and this can be. Don't worry about Game Pass. Game Pass ain't going to be the thing that changed gaming or ruined gaming, is how people been saying. It's going to be the free to play aspect of it, because you'll be dishing out twice as much more money on a game that's a free to play than you do if you just purchase the game. You just need to think about that, so the next time you start, bitching about, value and things like that, because they can really rake it in. I could just imagine well, just look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty it's insane how much money Call of Duty makes off of their extra
And it's
content.
at $70 now too.
Yeah, and this is $70, and also with NBA 2K. It's bananas. So it is something to really look at.
I think Ubisoft is really the only, well, not the only third party, but they're one of the ones that haven't gone to 70 yet.
No, but so it looked like for them that they want to go the route of free to play. And then just do quality games. If I still don't see because Assassin's Creed still sells really well.
Well,
I don't see Assassin's Creed, but definitely the shooters will definitely Division, the not Breakpoint, but Ghost Recon, stuff like that.
K-Mega, with you talking about it's funny you brought up Destiny 2, because Destiny 2, the original game, went free to play. The core game went free to play, right? And if you go into Game Pass, then you can get the other expansions up to the one up to the most recent one, not the season passes, but the expansions, and you get them all in Game Pass. I really feel like the people running Ubisoft was looking at all this and seeing the profitability here and how other developers, and they're crunching numbers all over the place to try to become more profitable and such. And
where is Destiny getting most of their money from? For the season pass, for the season.
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
That you pay into, that's what you do.
You can do that. You can do that with like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. Look at Hitman and what they do with like their contracts and stuff like that. There are ways to add content to get you invested, whether you're paying for that quote unquote season pass or something like that. There are ways to get that revenue in there, because let's be real, these are companies. They're not charity groups. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make money. So if they're gonna go free to play, I can see them doing some type of season pass or something like that, for games that are typically single player, maybe, adding a multiplayer element to it as well. We all know Assassin's Creed used to have multiplayer too, with the game as well, that a lot of people did like, man.
Well, we got the new version of the loot boxes. We all said this, and especially like Pred and Crispy and others said, look, they're not, you can hate EA now for what they're trying to do. They just was blunt about it and they got exposed. But there will be other ways that they will get that money from you. And this is the new version. The seasons are the perfect thing that they're doing now. And nobody complains about it, because, and it's the same thing that I was saying, I was arguing back then. I'm like, it's optional. If you don't have to pay for it, then don't pay for it. But because we are all creatures of habit and we want the bigger and best things. Even I went to Destiny and got the season 14 pass. I even paid for it because I was looking kind of shabby. I'm like, look, I gotta look clean, man. If I'm gonna get in this game and play it, I gotta get clean. So I bought me a pass.
It's not even that. Like when you playing with people, like let's say I'm a lower level. I don't know if they do this in Destiny, but I know some other games have done this too. Like if you don't have the right gear or you don't have that next expansion, you can't play with them.
Well, that's the beauty of Game Pass, is where you can get that and you can play with somebody.
Yeah.
But that's the thing for me. But Game Pass is only on one console right now. Right. So, and so that's the thing too. It's like if you're on PlayStation, you're playing Destiny, or PC, you're playing Destiny. You don't. I think that if you sign up for Game Pass on PC, you can do it as well. But on PlayStation or Nintendo or anywhere else, you can't get that benefit of having Game Pass to give you the expansion. So therefore, you're going to buy the expansions, and then of course you're going to get the season passes with it, because you've already been invested. And once you spend money into something, you're going to continue to play that game because you've
gotta get your money's
invested
worth.
into it.
Yeah.
You got to
how
get
does
your
it feel
money's
like
worth.
all
into
your
it.
friends have the next expansion, and you're trying to play together, and you can't because you're the one that doesn't have that
Right.
expansion. So now you're forced to buy it because how they do it is like they're expecting you to get it because everybody else has it.
Yeah.
Now when you're trying to get that map, like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example because I tried to do this the other day. I downloaded Battlefield 4, and I didn't download the other expansions for it. I could not get into any maps because no one was playing the old maps. You had to get the newer maps, like the most recent maps, like the I forgot which ones they were, like the Shanghai map and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You had to buy those to get into maps and play with other people.
Damn, they were giving them out for free. You didn't see
I
them?
already owned them. I just hadn't downloaded them yet. But like, if you don't own it, you can't play it. And so now you're stuck playing like the same 4 maps that only like 5 people are playing now. Like the first Rush map that came out with the demo. Like no one plays that as much anymore. So like, if you want to play the newer maps, you have to get the other DLC for it, which you have to pay for. So like that's how they get you. Like they throw out these seasons and stuff like that, and then when you try and play with everybody else or your friends are getting the newest, coolest shit, you can't because you don't have it. So now they're like, at some point in your mind, you're like, man, I really want to play with my homeboys. Fuck, I guess I gotta drop this other $20.
I'm not too sure in Destiny 2. I'm not too sure if the season activity. There's always a new season activity with the new season. I'm not sure if it's locked behind the season pass or not. So I can't really.
It is because
you wouldn't know because you already got it.
It is because I bought it because I signed up to a clan. And because I got this love hate for Destiny, so I was like, I'll play it. I was thinking about uninstalling. I was telling Don, I'm finna install this. I ain't playing.
You went from I'm thinking of uninstalling it to buying the season pass.
Oh yes, because you know what happened? I said I went in there and then our boy Thomas Franks, child of God, he said, hey man, I want you to come and join my clan. And so I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? He's, really cool dude, right? So I'm like, I'm definitely going to do that. So I did it. And then I seen that there was perks for points. So I said, all right, I'll go ahead and buy these perks. It was $10. I said, I'll buy these perks. I went ahead and bought it. And then that's when I seen the suits and shit because I never really paid attention to Destiny that much. And I said, oh shit, I'm looking at everybody else looking clean. This is how they do it. So they buy these suits. I said, well, man,
you looking all scrubby.
Yeah, I look like I look like my clothes came from a swap meet. So I was like, all right, man. So let me go ahead and get clean, man. So then after that, then I was like, all right. So then I played, and then somebody else seen me at like real late at night that was playing in Australia, Nate Cal, and he was like, mate, I didn't know that you played Destiny. I said, I don't play it like that, but he was like, but let me go ahead and so we went and I played it till 6:00 in the morning the other night.
Game's fire.
Well, no, I mean, I had fun. I'm not gonna lie, I had fun, and so we was doing all different other stuff, and so now my light level is up there. I'm I'm like 1260 or something like that now. So
the cap is 1320. So you got more to go, but
hey man, I was at 11:25.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was some work. That was some work I did within that night to get from 11:25 to 12:60. So yeah, so I was playing it. So yeah, whatever.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
We already got to deal with Crispy to talk about.
I know, but I'm saying, but hold on.
What's that
You know
supposed
what
to
I'm
be?
talking about too.
Oh man,
I'm
anyway,
gushing a little bit hearing this power jump that K-Mega went through here.
But don't worry about that. Don't gush because Anthem is still a better game. But I just, you know what I'm saying? Anthem is still a better game. EA, get
That's
that
like
shit.
saying Locke is coming back.
Oh, Lock.
Lightning about to strike around the house right now.
He brought it straight to Lock. Like,
hey, Viper said. Viper said he says K Mega is in a clan. Pause. Hey, bro. No, stop it.
Hey, hit your SuperChats. I think you missed a couple of them.
Yeah, no, I was waiting to get into the super chats. First off, shout out to my brother Z Black Rider. Yo, he has been here so long supporting this channel, listening to us talk about games, listening to us bullshit and all that good stuff. Yo, shout out to Z Black Rider. Not only is he like a supporter of the channel, but he's also a good friend and gamer, within the community. So shout out to you, Z Black Rider. He says, "Yo, bot." And I say, yo, Z, what up, man? Shout out to RG Viper X. Again, another one of my brothers. He says, if Ubisoft is having money issues with AAA games, then the next logical choice is to sell to Microsoft. We will welcome with open arms. Now, brother, I hear you on that, but I do not think that they want to sell to Microsoft, man. I think they're such a big name that they want to do things their way. And I feel that this free to play aspect, I feel that these companies know what's coming down the line. These companies know what's trending and what is making money, and to see a multi-platform third-party publisher such as Ubisoft decide that they want to go free to play, knowing that their games sell on multiple platforms. So, you're getting $60, $70 per game when they release on PlayStation, on Xbox, on Nintendo, on PC, but still they feel that the free-to-play aspect with the microtransactions is more lucrative. So anybody out there who loves to talk about game sales and how many copies sold, you might want to rethink that in terms of the company's stability or whatnot, because it seems that there is winds of change going on right now, and profitability within the gaming industry might not be tied down to how many units sold, whether physically or digitally. It's something to think about. But
let me give a big shout out to Six Layer, because don't you hate when you type something? Because when it was like right towards the beginning of the show, Six Layer was like, "What up, Mega?" And so I had it typed, and I looked, and I thought I hit enter, and it didn't ever hit enter. So let me give a big shout out to Six Layer, man.
Yo, Six Layer, what is up, brother? GRG fam. Yo, it is good to see everybody in the chat. Guys, if you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. Let people know where you are. You are right here. Next podcast, we are talking all the hottest topics that have gone on throughout the week within gaming. You know this. Crispy, what do you think about this Ubisoft turn when it comes to their games? We all know them. We do really know them single player, kind of like, adventure stealth type games or whatnot, but they want to move out into the free to play aspect. What do you think about this? And do you think it's a logical move with where gaming is going for the not too distant future?
It's tough to say. I mean, it's kind of, for some of the games, the IPs that they own, I don't know how that's going to work. I think it's going to be more of like a three-pronged approach, and they're kind of going to be like, okay, well, we could take existing IPs like The Division, for example, which they're already doing, and making like some kind of free-to-play model, which, I mean, The Division could lend itself well to free-to-play. It's just, let's see how they really approach it, how it's going to work, and how the microtransactions, the money they're going to make off of it, how that's going to work. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people get really pissed about it. If it's something stupid, yeah, you got me. But it'll piss people off if they do like stupid little things that really make it.
Guys, I gotta run downstairs and let my son in real quick. I'll be right back.
But a hindrance of using that IP and kind of abusing it, and I hope they don't do that. I hope they treat it as like a new game. And I also hope they don't try to do it with everything. I think it's more or less like they're going to take certain games after they've sold them regularly and maybe say, hey, Microsoft, we'll throw this in Game Pass, stuff like that. They're going to try to get as much money from any area they can, I think. And this is just one way of taking IP. Like I could see Siege, having a different variant of it that is free to play or something like that. So I mean, it's logical for some games like Assassin's Creed. I don't really see it, and it does have a story when it's all said and done. So I don't know how that would work inside of the story, so it just doesn't make much sense in a game like that. But The Division, it makes sense. Anybody else?
Doc, did you go on this already?
No, I haven't gone on it.
Go ahead. What do you think?
Honestly, for me, it's like, okay, Ubisoft is going free to play. I don't see games like Assassin's Creed going that route. I agree with you, Pred. I think more like you know, Rainbow Six, maybe Ghost Recon. I could actually see even Rain Man going free to play, even though it has a story to it. I could see that going free to play because I mean I don't think they make very much money off of that game. I could see that game being like more like you could probably maybe go mobile with it, or even just put it as free to play and keep updating it with new little maps or whatever. Um,
Woo!
I think games like Beyond Good and Evil, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed are just gonna be those games that are not gonna go free to play. I think
But
those
then
will
what's the
still
difference
kind
then?
of
They're just adding free to play to the existing library of games they already have, is what you're saying.
right. Yeah, which I could see them doing. But I mean, it seemed it. I don't know. I mean, they could. I mean, they could go free to play with Assassin's Creed. I mean, if they do that, and I probably won't buy it, or I probably won't play it because
But it's
I don't
free.
I don't really like yeah, but I don't really like the free to play model
You telling
because
me that you wouldn't play the Crew 3 free to
no,
play?
Well, the
You
crew,
wouldn't
no,
give it
the crew is trash
no.
anyway. Let's be real.
well,
I never liked
it's
the
not
crew.
very good, but yeah, because I
I
hate it if I
never
spend my
liked the
money
crew.
on it. But if it's a free
I
to
never
play,
liked
I'm
the crew.
definitely going to download it and give it a try.
I mean, I probably give Assassin's Creed a try if it went free to play, but I don't think I would stick with it as they would want me to. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't. I'm not one of those people that's like in Destiny. I'm not a firm advocate of DLC. That's my thing. Like I don't
You don't
I
like
don't
DLC?
I don't play very much DLC, dude. Like honestly, I do.
Ooh.
The last one I bought, which was for Mortal Kombat, because I was like, oh, they added more story to it, But like
Did you play
like
it?
no, I haven't played it yet.
Oh,
I'm
it
gonna be
is
buying
so
it.
much. I mean,
I heard it's good. Yeah,
it's so much better.
yeah,
But Mortal Kombat 11 story is absolutely fantastic, but
yeah,
that expansion is better, which is crazy.
Hold on,
yeah.
question. I just thought about something. Is there a free to play single player game out? Is there any? Is that
Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
it's single player?
Yep.
yeah. Well,
Huh.
yeah. So
I think you can co-op with it too, but
you co-op with it, but yeah, but it's mostly like a single player. It's a
it's
cool
mostly single player.
and it's actually it don't even. That's one of the games right there that doesn't look like a free to play game because it plays like it's
Yeah,
really good.
it's more like it doesn't feel like a free-to-play game at all. Like I've played
Mm-mm.
it. It's pretty good. I mean, yeah, it does have microtransactions and things like that in it. I'm just concerned about the microtransaction thing. I don't want gaming like on console to go the
Mobile. Yo,
mobile route.
exactly, bro.
Like I don't want it to go that route. I mean, if it does, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it because I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna do to make money. But I don't like the free to play model when it comes to microtransactions, and it's not because I don't like the games, because there are some games out there that I thought were free to play that were
Hold
really
on
good, like
one
Genshin
second, Dark.
Impact.
For anybody who might be looking into getting a Series S, Viper just said that the Series S is available on the Xbox store on your console. So
Oh damn! I want to get one so bad. I just don't know how to get. I don't have
go
bread.
ahead and
God
order
damn.
it because I have hands on with it. You will not be disappointed with it. Even if you want to, you already have a Series X and you want to use like the Series S for like the living room. Keep your X in your room where you like game hardcore, and you can let everybody else kind of mess with the Series S in the living room or whatnot. It is a little beast of a system. So shout out to Viper for that, man. I'm sorry, I just had to let people know.
Well,
yeah, man.
my Xbox One X clonked out like 2 weeks ago, and so
Dang.
now, yeah, so I had to put the PlayStation in the front room so my wife could still watch
And she's like,
what she does
what's
off
this
of
garbage? Like, I don't.
that. Oh, she was bitching about
You can get an
about the
S pretty
controller.
much anywhere now. Like I seen them on Nebraska Furniture Mart. I know it's not normal for most people, but they've had them in stock
Nebraska Furniture Mart.
forever. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, but like that store is off the fucking chain, bro. There's only a few of them around the nation, but like they have a lot of good electronics in that store. No
Nice.
shit.
Yeah, I just feel that, going that route of free to play, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some really good free to play games. It's just, does it hold your attention long enough to actually spend money on it? Like that's the thing. Like I don't I mean, because potentially you could be spending way more money on a free to play game. Like, I mean, even
Oh,
K
you
Mega
will.
was telling us, like, with his wife and how she spends so much money on free to play games, like and sometimes you're like, you could be spending way more money on a free to play game than you would on just a game that you paid for
Traditional
60 or
buy
70
and play,
dollars.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
$60 or $70. So I mean, it's really going to be interesting to see where people gravitate towards this, or how they gravitate towards this, and how they're going to really be like, is this something we want out of gaming? I guess Ubisoft is the good company to do it with, because they do have a substantial amount of library of games that they can put out there as free to play. So
You
it's
know,
going to be interesting,
you
to be
know,
honest.
the way I look at it, like, when you find a favorite game, when you find, like, say, Dark with Valhalla, right? Um, when you find a favorite game, and the free to play model ensures that content is coming down in the future. I remember when DLC first started, back early in the 360 era, and it just created a bunch of, people were excited to get new content for a game they already loved. And I feel like this is, in the positive aspect, this could just be an expansion of that. Dark loves Valhalla, and to know that they will constantly be working on content to flesh out the world and stuff like that to
What I
get you
could
involved
see
in.
what I could see them doing is going that Destiny route, where they put out seasons,
Yep.
instead of like, they'll have these little microtransactions, here and there, but then
Eververse.
they put out seasons that are like $30 or $40, and people are like, oh, okay, I'll spend that, every
Well,
year or
because
whatever.
it develops the
And,
story, it develops the
yeah,
universe, and it keeps the story
yeah,
moving forward. And that's what Destiny
yeah.
does, man. Even this season now, it's pushing the story, the original expansion, like, it's pushing that story forward even more.
Even though most of those expansions aren't really worth the $30 or $40, they're really not, like the content that you get out of. I mean, the content that you get out of them are, pretty good, but like the story aspect that you get out of them are just, they usually fall to like maybe 4 or 5 hours, of story content, and you're just like, oh, okay, I spend this much on it.
That's a good
So,
point. That is really like the
but
big
that's
expansion
for
for
me, because I'm
Destiny.
not. Because
It
me, I'm not a multiplayer guy. So
except for
4 or 5 hours, yeah. Well, Halo. I mean, Halo's on another level, dude. Okay,
Halo.
Halo's on a pedestal. All right, it's on another plane. Okay.
Well,
Um,
Well, speaking of games on pedestals, if you guys don't mind, like, I really want to talk about this Gears information that I came across, and I came across it by one of my brother
Go ahead,
Crispy's
Crispy.
favorite people on social media. Uh, it appears that when it comes to Gears 5, we all know that they put in crossplay between console and PC. Now, one thing that I was in the camp of, the one thing I was happy about, was they gave us the ability to shut off crossplay and just play against other people on console. And I feel like when it comes to crossplay, I feel like the gamers out there should have that option on whether or not you want to dive in the deep end of the pool, or if you want to go in on the shallower end. And some people are just happy being over there in the shallow end. You know what I'm saying? But it seems that the coalition has gone and taken away the ability to disable crossplay for Gears 5 between PC and console. And I'm reading this this tweet that was put out there by CG. And it says, with Operation 7 drop, we are introducing a field of view option across all Xbox One devices, bringing console settings in line with PC. So they're feeling that they're bringing console settings in line with the PC. So we will be removing the crossplay option across Gears 5. Currently, we see 40% of our players disabling the crossplay option, significantly impacting the matchmaking times for our players on both PC and console. With the field of view update coming in, the ability to plug a mouse and keyboard into your Xbox, plus the frame rate and input lag reduction on the new Xbox consoles, we feel we are at a point where the parity between Xbox and PC is almost identical, and confident enough in making this change going forward for Gears 5. Now, my personal thoughts and opinions when it comes to this, I don't like this, guys. I don't like this. Anytime they take away an option for us gamers, I do not like that. So I am opposed to this, even though it's still going to happen. But one of the things is, and we've seen this in Sea of Thieves, we've seen this in other games, when it comes to the open platform known as PC. Yes, there are PC gamers out there, and there are a lot of great PC gamers out there. But there are also a lot of cheaters out there, man. And, you know, when you open yourself up to open platform, you have, you know, people creating software all the time to cater to that cheating community. You don't have that as much in a closed system as console. So with that being said, I always felt that these games should have the option to shut off crossplay and let people just, you know, console gamers just game on console if that's what they choose. You know, PC gamers, you guys, I know you guys don't like it, but you kind of get used to the fact that there are cheaters within that community, within the game that you're playing, and you kind of you deal with it on that basis. Now, you know, I don't like opening that door and forcing it to remain open for the console gamer out there. I don't understand. I can see what they're saying about the, you know, messing with matchmaking, but there's other things you can do besides just making people get into crossplay when it comes to Gears 5. That's my opinion. But we got to go to the man, the myth, the legend, the one who has created hashtag Crispy Truth. And we got to go to Crispy Bomb on this. He is my Gears professional. And, dude, I don't like this. I got to let you know, man, right off the bat, I personally do not like this. They are taking away an option for the console gamer, and I cannot stand by that. Am I going to go out there on social media every single day and bash it? No, I'm not. But I am going to say that I am not a fan of this move. But, yo, Crispy, what do you think about this, man, knowing that you go deep into Gears, bro?
I really don't care. A lot of people don't realize it's only for ranked. Ranked is the only way you can disable crossplay at this point in time. So when you played quick play at any point in time playing Gears, you could potentially play against PC players. Now, there is a little icon that shows a PC if you're playing against them. Now, Gears community aspect, we really don't care. You got people that have Elite Series 2 controllers, which in the Gears universe is just as bad as playing somebody that has the mouse and keyboard, to be honest with you.
I'll call it middle lane.
There are a lot of people I know that use an Elite Series 2 that absolutely destroy PC players that are good. Another thing, the ranking system really eliminates you playing really good PC players. Most of the time, they've picked up Gears within a few months, and they still don't understand the movement aspect. The game takes a long time to learn how to play multiplayer properly, at least enough to be a good challenge to somebody. the ranking system is very well tiered, and they're doing even better things with the leaderboard, stuff like that they didn't have before. I look at this as being in the Gears community as having hundreds of people that play Gears regularly on my friends list. And really, I haven't seen one of them on Twitter or, send me a message like, what is this? We've already, if I go and play quick play, I could potentially play a PC player. A lot of the times the PC players were playing more quick play, and maybe they're just trying to get them into ranked more. Because there'd be times where, I'd play somebody, I'd be like, you're acting like a god right now. But Gears, with the ping, with the way it plays, everything else, there's all these different factors. You know what I mean? There's so many factors involved in the game. It's so competitive that when it's all said and done, we can complain about any little single thing, and somebody's going to have a reason to complain about it. And as far as this individual who has clearly stated, which if anybody really wants it, that he doesn't play multiplayer in Gears, okay, who has no clue how the community itself feels. Because if you don't play Gears, I mean, this is pertaining to Gears as of now. Could it come down to other games down the road? Absolutely. But here's the one thought process. If 75, 80% of the community that plays Gears and has been playing Gears religiously, especially Gears 5 since it came out, doesn't care, think about how competitive this game's compared to others. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, you're going to put a perspective of game that you don't play out on Twitter when you already said this before anyway, because you knew that quick play wasn't. Okay, get your head out of your ass and realize that you have lost that part of the community. You are not relevant, sir. Try. All right, and if you want to play Gears multiplayer, I'll come teach you, bro. All right?
Oh.
Because I'll tell you right now, half of that community that I know that doesn't even play ranked would probably whoop your butt, bro. All right? So I don't know what his issue is, but it's at the point where I just have to ignore it at this point in time. I have to ignore it because it is so illegitimate and so unthought, has no thought to it, that I just don't understand why even put it out there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So Gears is fine as far as the community is concerned. If you're not in the community, you may not understand why, but to us, it doesn't really matter.
All right, Crispy, check this out. I hear what you're saying, and you're revolving around Gears, all right? And I hear you on that, man, and you're making a lot of valid points. My bigger issue here is by them saying that with the with the new Xbox and the input lag reduction, they feel like the console is on par with the PC, knowing that the console is basically a closed system. PC is an open system. You have people out there creating software each and every day that will cater to the cheater. My whole thing is not necessarily Gears, but my whole thing is the thought process over at Xbox is going to lead to other games that I love coming out in November without that option to shut off crossplay. And I have a feeling, because of how starved the PC space was when it came to Halo, that the cheaters are going to be out there in droves. And if they don't give me the option to cut off the PC from my matchmaking, I am not going to be happy about it, bro.
Well, and that's a good, valid point, but people can use their Xbox to cheat, bro. Like, you do realize that, right?
With such validity in such numbers.
I don't know, dude. I'll tell you, I've played less people on PC that I've thought weren't cheating compared to Xbox. So I don't know what wizardry they do, but the one thing I will say is that if you think about it at this point, you can put the console to 120 frames per second, and that is a big deal. Okay, so in certain games like Gears that can go to 120 frames, I don't see the big issue. And now you're going to be able to use a mouse and keyboard if you want to. I don't see the big issue.
I don't want to be forced to go mouse and keyboard just because that's the most responsive.
I'm not forced to go mouse and keyboard. I just use my Elite Series 2, and I usually beat those. But like I said, the player base that in PC, if they're playing at all, they're actually at a way higher rank than me, and I don't have to worry about that. Now, if you're on that skilled rank,
Halo, yeah.
Okay, I get it. And you know what? Maybe it could happen to Halo too. You don't know. So maybe you're going to be really mad about it.
That's what I'm concerned about. It's opening that door. Like the thought process at Xbox is, oh no, our console is on par with PC, so we don't need that option anymore. And I'm like, guys, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's all I'm saying.
This is the thing about options, bot. Now they're giving everybody options.
Now they're taking options away.
How are they taking on? They're giving everybody that opportunity.
They're taking the option for me to shut off crossplay away.
But you're looking at it in a different light because at the end of the day, they're giving you the frames per second, the fidelity that a PC can give you. Yeah, but
I don't have 120 frame per second TV, so I'd have to go out and buy it just to be on par.
Step your fucking game up.
Step your game up.
But those people, there's not everybody has 120 frames per second monitor, bro. Do they sit there and bitch about it, bro? Come on, man. I'm just saying, dude.
Here we go. Like they are taking the option away. That's what I'm saying. They are not giving me an option. They are taking it away. Yo, who wants to take this next?
I'll take next.
Okay, and it's not to attack Xbox, by the way. It's just to take the topic. Okay.
I'm gonna attack you, but
I was enjoying that white on white crime.
I was too. I was too. I was too. It was delicious.
This podcast is the home of white on white crime. People, hit that thumbs up button.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Fred, because you're not going to attack bot. I am. So go ahead.
You better watch yourself.
I first one to say step your game up. What is
bro. No, but go ahead, Fred. You go.
Okay, I look at it this way: like it's a way to expand the fan base. Like as the game gets older, less people play it. You know, so like why not draw in more players to the game? Why not do it that way? You know, as far as the person that posted that you're talking about, CG, like Crispy said, he doesn't even play the game, so fuck him. I don't have a problem with it. Like I play PC players all the time with the controller. My Call of Duty footage you had up the other day was against PC players, and I wrecked them. Like I went 24 and like 6.
Yeah, but that was one of your best ever gameplays, though.
No, that's normal for me. Like I literally do that like every time I play that way with the PC players, and I'm high enough. I don't play it as much anymore now. Like that was like one versus everybody. That wasn't like what is it? The other one, the
team.
There's a couple of modes I can't play with the controller against keyboard mouse players. Like and it's usually like Battlefield. Okay, perfect example. I played the other day on PC. I can't play that with those players because they have an advantage over me with the controller.
And do you want that on your Xbox though?
Well, yeah. What do you mean, like to play with PC players?
Where it's like, man, I really want to play that mode, but I really can't get into it because those PC players are fucking wrecking shit with their mouse and keyboard.
I'll tell you what it's done for me. So when I play Call of Duty on PC and I come back to Xbox, I am so much better as an Xbox console player than I am than I was before, because it's like you have to learn how to play that way with a controller. If you're gonna play with a controller on PC, you have to get faster, you know. And so it's like practice. We talking about practice, dog. It's like we talking about practice. But when you're playing with better players, you get better, you know. And when I was saying it before, like, you know, step your game up. That's what I mean. Like you can't play on the easy mode all the fucking time. You have to play against harder competition. And what harder competition is there to play against PC players with a fucking controller? Now, keep in mind, there's other people on there playing with a controller too. I'm not the only one. Not every PC player can play keyboard and mouse. Some of those guys actually still use controllers too. Are we at a disadvantage? Yes, we understand that. We know that. But it's not impossible, you know. Does it suck to take away the option?
Yes.
It does. But it's not impossible to play that way. And I think a lot of people, like, you get fearful, like, because I was like that too. Like, oh man, they're gonna kill me. And I ain't gonna lie, I got my ass kicked when I first started playing that way. But as I got better, I understood like what I need to do. Like even PUBG, I played PUBG the whole time with a controller, the entire time, and I was decent at it. Am I gonna go out there and am I gonna go 22-4 every fucking match on PUBG? No. Like it's on PC anyway. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I can hold my own. And when I transferred that over to because I played PUBG on PC before it even came out on Xbox. When I went over to the Xbox side, the first time I played, I was killing motherfuckers. As everybody got better, I started moving on to the games. I kind of slacked off a little bit, but like, it's from a standpoint of someone who wants to have fun playing the game and they want to win, it's gonna suck for you for a while, like. But as you get better and you keep at it, you get better at it, and you get better at playing the game. So like, man up, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've been a little bitch and play the game and get better at it.
I'm still saying it should be an option. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not always gonna be an option. And at some point, someone's gonna be like, "Look, we're gonna put this shit in the game. You're gonna fucking deal with it." Like they do sometimes in some games they do have options for console players to kind of assist them, whether it's auto assist, because you're talking about cheaters. There's a difference someone blatantly trying to beat you in the game by cheating. But when all things are fair on a playing level scale, you can still be successful against playing against PC players. And in some games they scale to your level, they scale to they give you like okay, like maybe they give you aim assist, which I don't typically like, but they kind of help console players out a little bit in that aspect. Like I said, I can hold my own, but it's taken me a while to get to that point where I can hold my own against PC players. It wasn't like I just jumped on, I was able to wreck shop. When I play Battlefield, when it comes to this, I'm going to play on PC with a controller. I'm going to suck at it for a while. I'm going to get it on console too. So when I transfer over to console, I'm going to fucking murder y'all.
You're going to murder y'all.
But on PC, I might get my ass kicked the first couple of weeks until I get used to the controls and stuff like that. But as I get better at it and keep playing, I'll be fine. I'm not going to go 30-4 every single match. I might have some matches in there when I go 22-15, but like I'm still going to be okay and help my team. It isn't about your KDR all the fucking time. It's about, especially with Battlefield, it's about assisting your team doing other shit. But don't be afraid of PC guys. That's the biggest push out I can think of.
Well, real quick, Pred. I'm not against cross-platform play.
Option.
Yeah, I'm against them taking away the option to turn it on and off. That's exactly what I'm like.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong on this, because wasn't that option there? Didn't they have it set up this way before and they took it out and then now they're putting it back in? Am I tripping?
Yes, no.
What was there before? I thought.
Because that was the big hoopla at first.
They had it in before,
and then people weren't, and then nobody didn't really notice it because somebody noticed it, but nobody wasn't having any issues or whatever. And but there was content creators and one particularly that was making a big hoo about it, and then that's when it became more and more people. Like a snowball, people started bitching and complaining about it, and then they decided to change.
Look at it this way: if with the way the systems are now, with the current systems, not the old school Xbox One, with the current systems, if you are playing with the PC player right now at 120 frames per second with a controller on your Xbox, and they're playing the mouse and keyboard at 120 frames per second, would you notice? If you were getting your ass kicked, would you be like, that's a PC guy?
In Gears, not really, not all the time. Because I play people that use the claw and they don't even have an elite controller, and they are ridiculous at wall bouncing, and that's really what it comes down to. And they literally smash PC players like nothing. You know what I mean? So that's why I just say as far as Gears is concerned, which is highly competitive, really, I mean, people have so many different ways of approaching how to be better at the game, and that's why we really for the most part, the community is not really making a big deal about it at this point.
Well,
most of the time, you only know that you're playing against a PC player because the indicators show.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will let you know.
By a PC player, I don't that's a PC player. I don't know.
Being a Destiny guy, this is how different PC gaming and console gaming are when it comes to what they call the meta. which is the weapon that is kind of like the most lethal weapon in the PvP for Destiny. It is literally different when it comes from like the PC version to the console version. Like there will be different metas because of how the mouse and keyboard work. Like they're hold on, Justin's yelling, but like again, my whole thing is taking away the option to turn it on and off. Like I feel that, you know, just forcing the pool together like that, knowing that there are differences here, and not letting you elect to go in on it, I feel that is the issue for me. I'm down.
Do you play Gears?
Huh?
You play Gears?
Again, it's not necessarily.
Answer the question. Do you play Gears?
Actually, I got one more real quick.
I don't play Gears.
How do you feel about Fortnite?
How do I feel? I don't play it.
Okay, now because Halo Infinite's gonna have a free to play. How do you feel about that? Because you know what they're gonna do.
What?
You're gonna be able to play you're gonna be all across Game Pass.
Again, like I've been saying this ever since Halo Infinite was announced. I'm hoping and praying that there is an option to turn off crossplay.
I don't know, Bob. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, no, I just,
you embrace the suck.
K-Mega, what do you got for me, man?
I mean, look, I just think that it's way over the top of how you feel about it. Like, I mean, these thoughts about it from when they first was implementing crossplay, and then like, you know, the fears. It was just like going back. I mean, it just goes back to the fears of the camera on the Kinect, but everybody had a cell phone. Like, I mean, this is what it sounds like to me. Look, as somebody who plays on PC, and I can agree with Fred 100%. The advantages now is now in the hands of console gamers just as much as it is in the PC PC space. If you want to play mouse and keyboard, you'll be able to do that. If you want to play at 120 frames, you'll be able to do that. You want to go ahead and you can even hook up your monitor to your console. And if you have a monitor that can do 220 or 240 hertz, you can have that option. But I think it's capped at 120 on both consoles. So I mean on PC and on console. So with competition play. So regardless of it, it's the advantages of all of these things of what PC has and the cheaters and all that stuff. I think that stuff is. Gears has been out for what, 3 years now. And so what they've done is that they've studied the patterns. They've seen who's the cheaters. They've kicked those people out. They also know how, you know, it's in their ecosystem, so they know exactly what's going on. And trust me, if there's people out there that's cheating, those people also get reported. And so they have data to know what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So that's what, if for them to take it out, obviously they feel comfortable enough to where there's nobody that's going to get, you know, there's not going to be just an array of just cheaters just coming over and just destroying the game, you know, the experience. It's just, it goes with anything else. If you don't play these games, you don't play Fortnite, you don't play Call of Duty, you don't play these other games out here, and right, so you can't complain about if because they have the data to know what's going on. And if Halo does it, which I'm pretty sure that they will, and I'm pretty sure that what Halo will do the same thing as what Gears will do. They will go ahead at first, probably just let everything be open. There'll be people that'll bitch about it, then they'll have a toggle or something where you cannot play with PC gamers. And then at a certain point in time, they'll open it up because they'll have enough data to know that, you know, that cheaters can't get through and do the things that what some people would think that they may see on Arma or one or another, just a PC only shooter or something like that. You know, so that's the difference. I think what a lot of gamers, console gamers, they miss. That's just not it. We're going.
I think they're only opening up to like
No.
just increase the pool altogether and
Well,
to
yeah,
help
that's
with
the whole point of
matchmaking.
crossplay. It's
like,
preserving
times.
it's preserving gaming. And then there's also, it's one of those things. It's just it's have a one big huge ecosystem instead of having it separated. Because if you look at certain games, I love fighters. I go and you see certain fighters. If there was more crossplay fighters, then there would be a lot of fighters that we could just go into and just play, and there would be a whole bunch of people that we could play with. But because they're so separated, some lobbies on let's just say even on PlayStation, I can go to play Guilty Gear Rev R2, and that game is that lobby system is dead. So if it had a crossplay feature, it'll stay alive longer because you have more players that will still invest into the game. So I don't see the whole fear factor aspect of it. I think you just need to just get over it. If somebody who is
I'm not saying fear at all. I'm saying
it sounds like fear. Why would you?
You can bust it down like that, but I'm not saying fear at all. What I'm saying is we need to have that option because, like it or not, I feel that again with Halo, because that's my biggest concern here. That's my biggest concern is with Halo. There's a certain target on the back of players when it comes to Halo. I feel there is, and this is the first one that's going to open up. It's going to be.
You don't think Gears has that, especially when you're using the shotgun?
Not to that same extent. No, I don't. I don't. Okay. Halo is foundational when it comes to competitive multiplayer and stuff, and not
Gears
only that,
isn't?
And not only
Gears
that,
isn't? I mean, that's an insult to Gears.
I say Halo is bigger in that aspect. Halo is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to that. Let's be real.
Okay. All right.
I mean, look,
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that was the first one.
I'm just saying Gears is very, very.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying Halo is the granddaddy of them all, brother.
Well, okay, Halo may be the granddaddy of them all, but Halo.
And here's the thing. I don't know about
thirsty. I don't know
the thirsty PC community. When it came down to it, this is the first one that is opening up. PC and console at the same time, and it's going to have cross-play support when it comes to that. So I feel like there needs to be an option.
If you start getting wrecked, if you start getting wrecked by PC gamers, then there's only two options for you: get a better controller, or step up your game and get a 120 hertz television. You know what I'm saying?
So
I mean that's
saying better.
I'm just saying, or start learn how to play with a mouse and keyboard. I don't know what you're saying.
If that happens that way, you're telling me just to spend more money to get it up with the PC gamers. I don't like that. That's one of the things I didn't.
It's not about spending more money, but it's about getting the best experience. No, I'm just saying, if you are that intent or you that hell bent on it, I mean, I'm playing Halo competitively. I mean, I'm playing Halo as a fun factor, and yeah, I will play in competitive modes, but shit, if I have a night, there's times that when people see me stream Halo 5, there's nights that I could have a couple of matches where I go 4 and 12, or there's matches that I can go 30 and 6.
Yeah.
So it's not about, and I play against PC. Well, I mean not PC game, but I play against all different types of players, and that happens in Call of Duty, or like for instance, okay, I played somebody that played Tekken on PC. Well, the one reason why Tekken 7 cannot be on can be cross-play because of the fact that it runs a hell of a lot better on PC than it does on consoles. So therefore that was the first actual game that Tekken was ever on PC. So therefore they were just trying to figure it out. But I guarantee you, when Tekken cross Street Fighter, or even if it's Tekken 8, guaranteed it's going to be cross-play. That's just the future of where gaming is going. I don't see why you would want to alienate a group of gamers. You might, you can find a hell of a lot of good gamers over there and start a bigger society amongst the PC or PlayStation or whatever or mobile phone players.
Or not is what I am talking about.
Yeah, man, I know that, but I just
option to separate playing from Series X players and Xbox One players.
Right? No, there's not, and that's a great point. And right there, and see, there's plenty of times where I know that I have the advantage over somebody. I can tell. You can tell when you're playing against somebody who's that's playing on a lesser system. You could tell, and anybody would tell. And if somebody, and you could tell when you're playing against somebody who's hitting 120 hertz, because my TV only hit 60, and so that's where I'm like, I'm gonna have to upgrade because I know the difference. I can tell, but it's still enjoyable to me because I'm like, oh, I want to get better. I like the competitive drive, even if I play against a cheater or a person that bounce off the wall. Even though I don't play Gears online that often, but when I see those bouncing motherfuckers, I just go the other way and let somebody else take care of them. I ain't fucking with them because I'm like, look, I'll try to get them and shoot them, and then if I do catch them, then it's usually when they're already bouncing off the wall and trying to fuck with somebody else, and then I catch them and hit them with my Lancer, because a lot of Gears players that play competitive do not like getting killed with the Lancer. You should be playing with shotguns only with them. But fuck that. If you were bouncing around like that, I'm shooting you from a distance, or I'm just gonna run off and then wait and then come around and try to flank you. But there's always different ways and strategies. But I love the competition sense of it, and to me, just to alienate those gamers because I feel that I'm afraid of cheaters is just asinine. When we play, hold on, let me my last point.
Hold on. You're gonna hear me say something real quick. You're gonna hear me say something real quick. Yo, what I'm gonna say is this is the stance I have taken from the beginning. All right,
it doesn't mean that you're right, though.
But guess what? Back in the beginning. Certain people like you, K Mega's like, yeah, nah, don't worry about it. They're going to give the option. It's no problem. And now they're saying, now there's a good chance that there is going to be no option. And you're like, yo, what's wrong with that? Like,
because obviously they know that the advantages that PC
obviously
had at
they
one
just
particular
want to
time
have the biggest pool playing together. That's it.
Okay. Let's say that you're 100% right. Well, then only thing that I should say to you is get better. You know what I'm saying? Get better.
Buy a more expensive TV.
Get better. You don't even have to do that. Like, if you just play the game in a consistent hard level, trust me, those people this is one thing about some of those people out there that do cheat. They play for only so long and then they go away. And then they go to the next game that's hot at that moment. And then they go cheat over there.
Well,
if that's what
you're
afraid
at that
of.
moment, because like I said, PC is thirsty.
We'll all be
for
playing
that,
Halo
and
having a good time. Yeah.
So
what am I saying?
Just never upgrade your character. If you want an advantage, there you go.
Right.
So you can complain about
let's get dark into this. Maybe we get let's get Dark Chocolate in on this, man. Dark, what do you think about this Gears news? They're shutting off the ability to toggle crossplay, and like I said, I don't like this, man. If they had that option there, that's basically taking away an option for the gamer. I mean, that's just common sense to me. There is an option, and now they shut it off, so they took away that option. Dark, what do you think about this, bro? You hear K Mega, you hear Predator, you hear Crispy. What is your take?
I
don't care.
Honestly,
he doesn't play competitive multiplayer games.
Who gives a shit about Gears multiplayer?
Oh!
You mean you don't give a shit?
No, I'm saying seriously, who gives a shit about Gears multiplayer?
Crispy.
Besides Crispy.
He's a person, you know.
What was that?
We can hear you.
The blasphemy. You're about to get some tweets at you, bro.
But I also think Xbot is being a crying little baby bitch about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be
right back. I'm not the one out in the middle of Yosemite. I'm not the one out in the middle of Yosemite practicing my Death Stranding balancing act.
Hey, sometimes you gotta practice, man. You know, you gotta get good. Get good, kid.
Get good. I see Mike in the chat. I see Mike Johnson just like, I love that stupid saying, get good. No, just the facts. Just keep practicing.
Honestly, I never had a problem with crossplay, to be honest. Or cross whatever, like people playing with PC. I mean, I've been doing it so long with Call of Duty. I've been doing it so long with Battlefield. Like, I mean, it's just a norm to me now. Like to deal with. And K Mega's absolutely right. As soon as the next multiplayer game comes out, those people usually move on. I mean, yeah, you'll get those ones here and there that'll come back and just cheat and whatever. I mean, but that's the beauty of the game. You can leave those lobbies. You know, you can go on and play in a different lobby. It's just, I don't see it being a huge deal when it comes to Halo. I think the majority of people who play Halo are playing it on console anyways. I mean, I see probably more
Master
people
Chief
playing it on
Collection
PC.
would like to talk to you real quick about that. Yo, to be
Well,
really honest with you.
of course you're gonna, of course, with Master Chief Collection, you're gonna see a lot of cheaters right now because that game just basically came out for PC, dude. That game just came out almost for PC. So, like, of course you're gonna be seeing that. Like, it's just. I mean, honestly, bot, if you really have that much of a worrisome for that, don't play the game right away. Just play the single player campaign
I don't need
for
to.
now, and then wait until
Well, I do
it
that
dies
anyway.
down with the multiplayer.
I
You know?
play the story first anyway. For anybody thinking
Yeah.
that when Halo Infinite drops, I'm just going to be running into multiplayer, I got something to tell you on that because I go in and play the single player before I ever jump in the multiplayer. I usually beat the single player before I get into multiplayer. So
And who knows how long the single player campaign is going to be this time around for Halo? I mean, we're hearing it's going to be longer. We're hearing that it might be shorter. We don't know. You know. So I mean, it's one of those things like you don't have to play the multiplayer right away if you're concerned about, cheaters. Like, I mean, that's just that's just how PC gaming has been. I mean, I don't see how they haven't changed
dude,
in the last.
my concern
you
here
know
is they're saying that when it comes down to it, the Series X is comparable to the PC.
There's PCs that aren't powerful as powerful.
Yeah,
as
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't let these fucking PC guys fool you. Except for Pred and probably a few other people in the community, they don't have a banging ass fucking PC.
I'll
Okay,
tell you right now,
a
I
lot
had
of
a
those guys
980
don't.
Ti on my PC until about the beginning of this year.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah. My PC is a little bit under is not as good as the Series X right now. It was better than the One X, but it's not better than the Series X. So I mean,
So that's the thing. You're gonna have so many different people playing on different SKUs of things. Like I've played against people on PC with Call of Duty, and I've wrecked those guys, like a lot of those PC guys on Call of Duty. So I mean, it just depends on the gamer, and it depends on the person. It depends on if you're having fun or not. Like if you're having fun with the game, what does it matter? I mean, I understand you want options, and I understand that the option should be there to disable it. But if Microsoft decides, hey, we're not going to disable it, then you got to suck it up, Buttercup.
Here's your option: don't play.
Don't play, or don't be a Halo fan anymore. I mean, just
wow.
That's
Listen to
Fortnite.
this blasphemy over here, man.
Bitch-ass
Wait
Fortnite.
until I promote this. Wait until I promote this show after we sign off and
Hey,
everything.
man,
I'll be like,
this
this show is straight
this is-
blasphemy right here.
This is what you're supposed to do when you play somebody. When I see a PlayStation logo or a PC logo, and after I finish and I thrash them, this is what I say.
Get fucking wrecked, GG!
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on that ass. Listen, this is what I love it. What Crispy said was absolutely right. What Fred said is that, look, when you first jump on PC, it is intimidating because there's people that's way more faster than you, and like I played hardline and I was getting destroyed. I was like, whoa, what is wrong with my skills? And then you slowly start picking it up, start seeing the patterns, and start seeing how it is, and then you get better. And then when you jump on the consoles, oh my God, it's like almost night and day sometimes. And then and it's like you might play against really good people online on Xbox or PlayStation, and then you jump on PC and you're expecting a bigger challenge and you're thrashing them.
Yeah, it just
crossplay has
depends.
gotten so much better. Yeah, it just depends
Well,
on who you
especially
play.
especially now with the consoles hitting 120 frames, especially like games like Call of
Yeah.
Duty and Battlefield will probably hit that on both consoles, and Halo will probably hit that on the Xbox. Like you don't really have an excuse to not be good at Halo on console anymore because you're right there
I
with the
think Dark's
PC
trying to tell me to
gamers.
buy a new
You know,
TV as well. I cannot
I mean,
believe
you don't
this
have to buy a
bullshit.
new
a
TV,
good
dude.
craftsman doesn't blame his tools.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a TV that does 120 frames, so I mean, I'm good.
Well, speaking of that, yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat, brother. Thank you so much for the support. He says, and I know K Mega's just gonna absolutely agree with him on this, but he's like, true skill will always trump frames per second. True.
Yeah, I mean that happens quite a bit. I mean, there's some people out there that are still playing on like the one and just wrecking dudes on PC with Gears and Halo and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not like these guys are, they don't have the best, hardware or the best tools, but they work with what they have.
Guys, I am just saying what I have
She
said from the beginning.
and I just yanked a 404 feet home run with my Padres. Hit them, bam! Let's go.
Wow.
Yanked it.
Fuck Padres.
Well, guys,
It was a rake.
on that
What a
note,
rake.
we are a little over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I do have to work tomorrow, so I have to get up at 5 a.m. I think this is the perfect time to wind this show down.
Fighting for my life.
Yeah. Don't start that. We always have more topics, brother. But when it comes down to it, yo, shout out to the chat. Yo, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for all the support. Had a blast doing this show, and I will be putting this panel on blast on Twitter at least once before I go to bed, and then tomorrow during my breaks, and you never know, it might be an all weekend thing. But yeah, so like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And let's start with the Gears man himself. Let's start with Crispy Bomb. Crispy, what do you got for us, bro?
Yeah, it was fun. Bot, you were in a corner and you're trying to fight yourself out.
Well, at least nobody left the show. That's all I gotta say.
No, you gotta bring that up, huh? You gotta bring that up. You gotta throw that in my face.
Dark, you need to grow your mullet back.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but at Chrissy Bomb on Twitter, Chrissy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. You can find me on Breakfast with Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We got Retro Renegades Tuesday, 7 p.m. And you can always find me back here Thursdays prime time on the next podcast.
Nice, man. I love that prime time. And let's go with the other long list of stuff to talk about, and let's go with K Mega. K Mega, we don't always agree, man, but we always come back together every Thursday. Not only that, we will always game together as well. What do you got for us for your outro, bro?
Send that shit to Hades.
Anyway, you catch
the. Since I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm bringing that back. Anyway, and then I got a new thing. My wife liked it. It's so I'm gonna bring a new little thing. It's called Rolodex fuckery. And so yeah, let's see if you guys like that. So my wife said, you should make a little noise for that. I said, I am. I'm gonna work on that now. So anyway,
Is that what she sounds like?
every woman that I've been with, they sound like that, just crazy. Anyway, so shout out to my wife, man, for dealing with my crazy ass. But anyway, man, you can check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night. We got some guests. I've got to go. I know we got Callie Rex and the other guest. I got to make sure, verify. You know what I'm saying? See if we have one of the lords, the Iron Lords, pop up tomorrow night. And so that would be great. And if not, then you know what I'm saying, we'll still make it work. But yeah, he said he'll be tomorrow. So we'll I'll just verify that tomorrow morning or later on tonight. But yeah, other than that, looking forward to some Mass Effect and man, Fight Night Sunday will be we'll be a little late because I will be on TXR. So I will so right after TXR, I will be getting ready to jump and do Fight Night Sundays, and I don't know, we'll figure out what fighters we want to play. But yes, come and join us every Sunday night. Probably be around 10:30, whatever, but come and check us out, man, and we have a good time. You hear a lot of people talking a lot of stuff, and we've been getting some more people pop in. We have Cerebral and hearing Sir X-Man and Cerebral, which there are two elder statesmen.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting. So yeah, that is pretty interesting. Don has come back into the fold of Fight Night Sunday, so it's pretty
Do you
entertaining.
run a fight night for old folks home or something?
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, I mean, when we get young heads like Yobi and Game Down Sights and other stuff, so it's a big pot of just
They're just
all types of
visiting their
shit.
grandpas at that time, right?
Right. So anyway, we put the old men to bed. We usually whoop their ass real good, and then
Dude,
then
you're
they
one of
go
the
to
old
bed
men.
pretty
What are
early.
you talking about?
I know.
Hey, man, I go strong. People know what I do in Fight Night. I fight for the old community. We got to do it. We got to keep it strong. Anyway, so so check out Fight Night also, and then Devin the Gamer will be back next week, and so check that out. And me and Don will stream of finally beating the final boss to Wolfenstein Youngbloods. That damn boss beat our ass damn near for like 3 hours. And so now I got a strategy I'm going to tell Don, and so we're going to beat that. So come check us out streaming Saturday night. And yeah, man, you'll catch me here next week unless Bot say something real foul. And then I got to drive to Connecticut and then just go roll over his damn trash can or something.
Come on over to Connecticut, bro. Just don't
You know what I'm
make
saying?
sure
Roll
it's
over
not
his
one of
trash
the
or
days I'm
something.
working, though.
Just
man.
make sure it's not Crispy's house, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know what I'm saying. Don't tell him what's going to happen over at Crispy. Hey, Bot, bring your punk ass outside. Yeah. Wrong person. I don't want no trouble. Anyway. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later, man.
nice, brother. Yo, Predator, what do you got for us, brother? It's your outro, man. You're gonna hype up your OnlyFans. What's up?
Nah, man, I got enough subs on there. I'm good for now. I mean,
Diabetes.
extra income, but
Diabetes.
What'd you say?
Diabetes.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be on TXR on Sunday as well. I thought, I got some special privilege and shit, and then
why do I gotta be?
K-Mega gonna be on
Yeah,
there
man, come on, man. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be on there with Tim
oh shit, I
Dog.
don't think I've ever been on TXR before.
Me neither. Yeah.
And I was
Yo,
like,
Pret,
I
just
gotta
do me a
share the
favor
spotlight.
and talk over K-Mega every time he responds to a question. Just go talk
Gotta
right
share the
over him.
spotlight with that motherfucker, man. So,
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
TXR podcast.
Look out for your trash can, Bot.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to the.
No!
Yeah, it's coming. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to the.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh my goodness, yo.
Welcome to the.
No.
I'll see y'all next week. Man.
Pushing, man. Yo, Doug Anonymous, man, what do you got for your outro, bro?
Oh, that was good. Yeah, man, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Anonymous. You can find me also on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name, man. And as always, dude, you know what? I need to come up with better bait for Crispy, because this I know K-Mega and Predator have been waiting for that white on white crime. We got a little bit of it today, but
yeah,
we need more.
I
need to pull out the big guns next time. I think
maybe for our E3 prediction.
Bring it on.
You can really get in on that W on W. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That white on white crime. Bullets will be flying.
Wow.
You guys will be ducking them bullets.
Oh man!
If you didn't know it yet, you have just tuned in to the next podcast. We are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. and of course that is prime time. Yo, if you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. This is one of 2 podcasts that I do on this channel. I would do more, but unfortunately, my work will not let me. But Shout out to you guys in the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible. And as always, we will see you next week for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Quivering.
Oh, where were we? I was about to ask you for your favorite brand of feminine hygiene spray.
The voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to next podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.